Hi, Gerhard Bloom, once again looking at the tyranny and the delusions of the social justice movement. So let's look at the question of wisdom. Wisdom is crucial to society, embedded in our institutions, our customs, literature, history is wisdom. These ideas, and when you see an institution, these are ideas, right? The concrete manifestation of ideas and embedded wisdom that has withstood the pressures of time. They've been weather tested, stress tested. And leftists, they want to tear it all down for the sake of some imagined utopian future. Dennis Prager is absolutely right. Good intentions without wisdom can lead to horror, and it has often in the course of human history. It is the study of history, the great works of Western literature, and the Bible that provide wisdom. And you want to write off the Bible as some sort of fairy tale. Whether you believe in its literal truth or its metaphorical expressions of truth, it has wisdom. It is part of the fundamental reasons why Western civilization has been so successful relative to every other civilization on this planet. And this has nothing to do with whiteness, nothing to do with whiteness at all. Far too few people know that it was the French Revolution that was the first to experiment in social justice. Equality, brotherhood, liberty, what could go wrong? Yep, tear it all down and we will construct this utopian ideal of France, equality, brotherhood, and liberty. And yes, more than a few statues were toppled. Thousands were actually canceled permanently under the guillotine. The regime of good intentions tortured, murdered, and jailed with impunity. And had this lesson been learned by students in the early 20th century, the 100 million people sacrificed for the sake of the utopian delusion that was communism, aka scientific socialism, could have been spared. And no, that's not a typo. 100 million people killed by their own leftist government in peacetime. But they meant well. And our current social justice ideologues, they don't know history, they utterly lack wisdom, but they're confident they don't need it. After all, they have advanced social theory to guide them, except it's all poisonous nonsense. Read my book. I will expose this poisonous nonsense for what it is. And in this coddled generation that is behind us, they want to be safe from dangerous ideas. The majority of the young generation now, they support suppressing speech. That's right, hate speech. And they want, what do you call it? Safe spaces. Utter nonsense. A university is meant to exchange dangerous ideas. Dangerous ideas fight so you don't have to, and you can pressure test these ideas before you try them out in the real world and destroy the planet. In a recent Pew survey, over 50% of Americans now support the idea of the government censoring misinformation. You know, like misinformation, like this COVID nonsense. Oh, you get the shot, you won't get COVID, and you can't transmit COVID. Except it was a lie. And they suppressed the Great Barrington Declaration, which was speaking out against this, the tyranny of the lockdowns. They predicted it would be a disaster. They were right. It was a disaster. While the Biden administration strong-armed social media to take this stuff down. They strong-armed social media to cancel any discussion of the Hunter Biden laptop. Oh, it's got all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. Well, the FBI knew it wasn't disinformation. They had verified that it was Hunter Biden and his laptop, but they strong-armed social media to pull it down. And they trust the federal government to... What about the federal government's disinformation that I've just discussed, right? And the majority of Democrats, strong majority of Democrats, support this government censorship. It is in the American Constitution. It makes it illegal for the government to engage in censorship. And the majority of Republicans thank goodness, no, they won't have anything to do with this. You need the contest of ideas. And this generation behind us that knows nothing of history and the benefits of Western civilization, hey ho, Western civs gotta go. This was Jesse Jackson. No, you need to understand Western civilization and its history and just how precious this is. And this could all dry up and blow away. Who would have predicted the horrors of Nazi Germany? Berlin in the 1930s was the cultural center of the world. And shortly after, Nazis are murdering Jews in the millions, and not to mention gays and gypsies. Poisonous. Anyways, I hope you'll check out my book, Deconstructing Social Justice. It's available on Amazon. It's not important because I wrote it. I wrote it because the issues could not be more important. Thank you so much for your time and attention and your continued support. Thank you. Bye-bye.